one perfume a day for a year. For those of you who are just now joining, I challenged myself to review one perfume every day for the year of 2024. I'm trying to do a different perfume every day, no repeats, but I don't know if I have enough for every day of the year. We'll see. So I'm basically doing all of my winter fragrances now. I do organize my perfumes by season. We've been going through a lot of gourmands recently, just because a lot of heavier, sweeter gourmands tend to perform better in cool weather. I do not post every day, but I film every day, and then I edit them together, and then I post a documentation of about 4 or 5 days at a time. So today is January 10th. I'm really craving a comforting fragrance today. I've had a pretty stressful time. I have some neighbor drama happening, and it's very stressful because they are very unstable, angry, and potentially violent people, and it is a matter of safety, not just for me but for my pets. Everything is making me anxious, so I'm trying to pick a cozy, comforting, calming perfume. So today I settled on, this is kind of an old one, Nest Cocoa Woods. It is a unisex, woody, spicy fragrance. It's warm spicy, but it's not like the dirty, itchy throat spicy. As I've said many times, you'll hear me say this a million times, I'm very sensitive to spice, particularly the darker, dirtier spices like black pepper. It's just cocoa or cacao, sequoia, tiara flower, sandalwood, and ginger. I mean, I guess you could say ginger is a spice, maybe. And it is a little sweet, but I would not consider this a gourmand. I think it's well blended and balanced, but it doesn't last terribly long. A lot of people say that this is better for layering. You can get kind of like a nice deeper bottom or base to build upon, and I think I agree with that. It is very rich, and it smells brown. Like, it really, if you didn't know that this was called Cocoa Woods, and if you didn't know that this was gonna have notes of like chocolate and wood and warm spices, you would spray this and be like, wow, yeah, that smells brown. It smells like all the things that would remind you of coffee or hot chocolate or like a melty s'mores, cozy, curled up by the fireplace kind of feeling. And I do like this, but I don't know if I like it enough to get a full bottle. I'm really not a chocolate girl, and I'm really not a spice girl. But, you know, I wanted to try it, and I'm glad that I have a little sample. Yeah, that is today's fragrance, and can't say I feel calmer. Not yet. All right, so that is it for January 10th. I will see you tomorrow, January 11th. All right, y'all, I did teach today, so I had to pick a cheapy whatever fragrance because I don't want to waste the good fragrances at work. And I chose Police to be Rose Blossom, which is a weird one. There is absolutely no rose in here aside from the little rose that she's wearing in her hair, on her head, on her skull. Maybe in true police fashion, they lie to you. I don't like cops. I think the bottle is hella cool, shiny, iridescent, purple to teal, and like it's got weight to it for a cheap perfume. The bottles, these little skull bottles, are like so cool. There are a lot of reviews saying that people hate this, that it smells like smoke or cigarettes or something. I feel like I might have seen wet dog on there somewhere. All of my previous experiences with this were pretty good. I spray conservatively, just like a couple of spritzes here and there. Probably more on clothes than on skin. And to me, I just get a kind of like sweet vanilla, powdery, slightly woody, slightly plasticky. I noticed all of the Police to be fragrances that I've had all have a very slight plasticky, like just fake synthetic undertone, but from far away you wouldn't smell that. If somebody else is smelling you, they're not going to notice that. It's only really if you have your nose up to it very in close proximity for a long time. When I had my husband smell it the first time I wore it, he was like, oh, it smells like a balloon. It has like a balloon smell. Balloon mixed with the vanilla, mixed with the sweetness. I don't know, kind of reminded me of like a birthday party. It's weird, it's quirky, and in some very strange ways, the woodiness and the licorice that is in here to me is not like a oily licorice candy. You know how sometimes you open a bag of black licorice and it's got this like kind of sickeningly sweet, like oily wet smell? That is not the kind of licorice that is in this. This is like a dry, like the dry root, licorice root, like it's been dried out. And not the notes themselves, but just like the way that they're arranged and maybe like the main accord that I get, almost giving me a coffee vibe. Replica coffee break, maybe without the lavender. It does have a sweet, dry, woody, slightly powdery, maybe slightly lactonic, milky kind of vibe. However, if you overspray and you're around heat, yeah, then I was getting like a burning cigarette smell. Then I was getting something that was not so pleasant. So I really don't think this is good in the heat. Now, while I was actually teaching, I kept getting whiffs of myself and I was very self-conscious, thinking that like, ooh, I smell bad. It smells like I spilled milk or like milky coffee on my shirt a couple of days ago and never washed my shirt. Like I was self-conscious about how I was smelling. But then with some of my little kid students, and you know, kids have no filter. Why does it smell like vanilla yogurt? I don't eat dairy. I think yogurt is kind of gross, but the fact that like all the kids around me eat a lot of yogurt, I'm assuming they like yogurt, and maybe yogurt is not the worst thing to be smelling. But anyway, that is what I wore today on January 11th, and thank you so much for watching. I will see you tomorrow on Friday, January 12th. Alrighty, January 12th, let's get right into it. I have a little sample of Jimmy Choo, I Want Choo Forever. I have only smelled the OG Jimmy Choo and I hated it, thought it was awful. So there is I Want Choo, which is its own thing, and then there's I Want Choo Forever. It looks like it's gonna be a sweet vanilla almond cherry kind of thing. So let's see what the real notes are. Okay, according to Fragrantica, bitter almond, rose are the top notes. Middle notes are cherry, vetiver, jasmine. Base notes vanilla, tonka bean, oak moss, and amber. And I don't know what to expect. So let's just go. Here we go. Recently, my husband has been remarking that he's into cherry lately, but I think he means more like, ooh, that's rosy. Yeah, I smell the rose right off the bat. But I think he means more like, in terms of actual food, like he's been getting cherry Pop-Tarts lately. I don't know if he's necessarily into things smelling like cherries. For most of my fragrance journey, I have been avoiding cherry because I'm always scared that cherry is going to smell like cough syrup or remind me of like Robitussin, any like children's cough syrup that has that artificial cherry flavor. But this is very rosy and like jammy, like fresh fruity. I don't smell the medicinal like icky throat feeling. This is like juicy and has a little tang to it, and it's lighter than like a cough syrup. So I don't really smell bitter almond, but it might be one of those things that you won't notice until you take it away. And I do smell jasmine, which is to me a kind of like heady indolic kind of sinus puckering smell. So it does have a little bit of that kind of like sour, not really sour, but some people would say indolic fragrances are pissy. As unpleasant as that sounds, it's really not an unpleasant thing. I think it is another one of those notes that is keeping it from becoming sickeningly sweet. I don't smell vetiver, but it is still early. And I do smell the amber already. Not so much vanilla tonka bean oak moss yet, but I'm assuming I have to wait for that in the dry down. I really have almost no experience with Jimmy Choo, so I do want to scroll and kind of see what the reviews are saying. Moderate duration, 4 hours. A lot of people are saying it gets powdery in the dry down, like grandma's after bath powder, powdery rose. I don't mind powder. Like the last few days, I've been going for like powdery fragrances, so I clearly don't mind a little bit of powder. I'm happy to smell like a grandma. The rose and the cherry are fading, and I am getting a little bit more of the amber vanilla. So overall, I don't mind it. I'm wondering if I could wear this tomorrow. I am going out tomorrow night. It's a friend's birthday. We're just going for dinner, so I don't want to wear anything that's too strong while we're eating dinner. But if I can find like a nice little sample to pack with me and then spray it before we go dancing or bowling, I don't know. We're gonna do something after dinner. But I'm thinking of something that's like fun, flirty, like energetic, youthful vibe. So I mean, I could see wearing this on a night out in the winter time, but I might pick something else for tomorrow night, and I will let you know what that is. So I will see you tomorrow, and goodbye. I am big sad today. I'm not going out to see my friend for her birthday after all, because I hurt my back I've had a back problem on and off for years, and sometimes it acts up, and whenever I agitate it, it just spasms. So right now the whole left side of my back is really like locked up, and it hurts to stand upright. I have to kind of like brace myself against something a lot of the times, and I don't think I could tolerate the drive that would be required to go see my friend. And also, like, it's her birthday, she wants to do something like dancing or bowling, and I can't lift or bend or do anything. So let's talk about the fragrance I would have worn if I were to go out a night out with the girls on a chilly January evening. And it is really chilly. It is like there's a sudden wind just came out of nowhere. It feels like the wind is coming through the house, even though all the windows are closed and everything. It's a really nasty, windy, cold day. So this may seem like a cop-out, but I was going to wear Carolina Herrera Good Girl. The first few times I wore this, I did not like it at all because I thought the mixture of bergamot and lemon and coffee was weird. I was like, why would you mix citrus and coffee? That doesn't seem like it would work. However, after the first time I had COVID, I had the Omicron variant in 2022. I didn't lose my sense of taste, and I did not lose my sense of smell, but it was altered a little bit. And one of the things that I noticed, coffee suddenly tasted a lot darker, more mocha-y, more chocolatey, more dirty to me than usual. Like I could not pick up on those little like bright notes, which turns out are citrus notes. So now when I drink coffee, I want it to be the bright breakfast blends that have that little hint of citrus in there. And when I don't have a breakfast blend, I actually put a couple of drops of lemon in my coffee to balance out that like super dark, like chalky mocha chocolatey flavor. Like I want to balance it out with a little bit of acid now. Now I like the citrus with the coffee. It does start out very strong. It does start out a little bit sinus puckery with the heady indolic jasmine and the tuberose. Some people say that this can open a little bit screechy, and it does. But that is one of the reasons why I think it performs better in cool weather. And also, those notes, those screechy, indolic, like heady, puckery, sour notes, really don't last that long. I would say after about only an hour, it turns into this really nice, subtle, warm, cozy, like chocolatey, woody, sweet, but not too sweet, ambery scent. And it's not overpowering, it's not obtrusive. So the top notes are almond, coffee, bergamot, and lemon, like we just talked about. Middle notes, tuberose and jasmine, which I just talked about, but also orange blossom, orris, and rose. And the base notes, tonka bean, cacao, vanilla, praline, sandalwood, musk, amber, cashmere, cinnamon, patchouli, and cedar. You just smell good, and I think it really is a nice winter fragrance, and I think it pairs well with like the outfit that I was gonna wear. I was gonna wear like a pair of black or really, really dark blue skinny jeans, probably like little wedge lace up boots, black long sleeve shirt or a sweater. I would probably bust out a slightly nicer jacket or even like a faux leather jacket. To me, this smells like if I wanted to be like the cool girl at the bar, a little bit sexy. I don't consider myself a sexy person, nor do I try to be sexy, and I would never go for a fragrance that reads as sexy to me. The commercials, I've only seen the commercials on TV a couple of times, but yeah, like stomping through the city in your dark dress and your dark shoes, and you kind of have command of the room, or you just kind of have command of wherever you go. I guess empowering is the word. I don't necessarily feel powerful. I guess I feel confident when I wear this. This makes me feel confident, just the right amount of like sexy and feminine without trying too hard, but also a little bit weird and a little bit mysterious with those deep, woody, chocolate, sweet, praline, vanilla. You know, it's like it's both feminine, gourmand, but also deep and mysterious at the same time. So maybe this will be a repeat some other time when I get to go out, maybe for my birthday. Oh, although for my birthday coming up next week, I'm going to be in Florida. And Florida is an average of 30 to 40 degrees warmer than it is here. So we might have a little vignette, like a little premature sneak peek of some spring fragrances. I might have to bust out some warmer weather fragrances for our trip to Florida, because I don't think things like this would smell very good in the hot, humid climate of Florida where we are going to be staying. And I also want to bust out some men's fragrances. I have a bunch of little men's fragrance samples that I don't want to wear, but I could probably test them out on my husband, and then we can still film every day, even in Florida, and we can document a little bit on the men's fragrances, as well as taking a little detour into spring or summertime fragrances before coming back to this cold, depressing weather. That will be about 10 days, 9 or 10 days, the 17th through the 27th. There will be a couple of videos in between those days talking about warmer weather fragrances and some man fragrances. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow for January 14th. Tomorrow's the 14th. Today's the 13th. I'm getting my days mixed up, man. I hope your new year and your January is going significantly better than mine so far. I will see you tomorrow, halfway through the month already, almost halfway through the month. Bye.